During the peak of their fame, the all-girl group The Donnas were described by Spin magazine as every mother's nightmare, every schoolboy's dream. They're the coolest band in America, while Rolling Stone referred to them as America's reigning rock and roll queens. Was this all hype, and whatever happened to this late 90s, early 2000s era band? Stay tuned for the full story. The Donnas started out in music during their early teens at the age of 13, playing music together. All four members of the band were born in the same year, in 1979, and were all self-taught musicians. Hailing from Palo Alto, they were one of two all-female bands from the city. And while the media labeled them as punks or pop punks, their roots were not just in bands like the Ramones, as they found something to like in groups like Kiss, the Runaways, L7, Alice Cooper, Def Leppard, and the Scorpions. Early in their career, the members did take a cue from the Ramones, though, whose members all took the same surnames. The Donnas would take a different approach, adopting the same first name. During live gigs, the members would wear a t-shirt that read Donna, followed by the first letter of their real surname. Donna R was guitarist Allison Robertson, Donna C or Tori Castellano was the group's drummer, vocalist Donna A or Brett Anderson was the group's vocalist, and Donna F was the group's bassist, also known as Maya Ford. Before becoming the Donnas, the girls started out as a speed metal act called Raggedy Ann, and then the Electrocutes. It was around this time an acquaintance of theirs named Darren Raffaelli had written some songs he wanted them to perform. This resulted in the birth of the Donnas. Originally, the members of the Donnas thought they would head back to their speed metal act, but Darren's songs resulted in a more accessible and mainstream sound. In fact, he would produce the band's first record, their self-titled album, which would be put out on his label Super Team Records. While the girls liked the direction of Raffaelli's music, they still wanted more creative control, with guitarist Donna R or Allison Robertson telling the LA Times, "We didn't want to be stuck in some band where some dude wrote the songs for us." They also wanted a harder rocking edge than what was reflected on their early releases. But the ladies were at a crossroads, almost breaking up early in their career because they enjoyed playing the Electrocute songs more than the Donna songs, with Robertson revealing to MTV, "I think after we got home from a 2-week thing in Japan, where we played like 4 shows, we were saying we were going to break up. Just kind of let the Donnas fizzle out. But then we realized that was kind of sad because people were going to the Donna shows. We just felt weird playing songs we hadn't written. Then we realized, why don't we just write the songs now? And then we can keep the name, we can keep the style, and we can put what we like into it," she'd say. As the band began writing their own material, they soon got signed to California punk label Lookout Records, while they were still in high school. Lookout would put out their follow-up album, 1998's American Teenage Rock and Roll Machine. The album would be recorded in only 10 days, with most of the songs being put to tape in just one take. In 1998, the band soon started making cameos in movies, landing roles in films such as Jawbreaker and Drive Me Crazy. In fact, their appearance on Drive Me Crazy would see them play a band called the Electrocutes that lands a gig playing a high school prom. It was also around this time that the music press started taking notice of the group, and they quickly won praise from magazines like Rolling Stone, who would claim hanging with the Donnas is like being in detention with all your best friends, while Spin hailed the band as, and I quote, "good time cave girl feminism." The Donnas would release 2 more records on Lookout, including 1999's Get Skin Tight and 2001's The Donnas Turn 21. By late 2001, the band was on the cusp of touring, and 9/11 happened, which jeopardized their live shows. Brett Anderson would reveal to Vice what happened around this time in the band's history. It happened on a Monday, referring to 9/11, and we played that Friday in LA at the Palace. We had the whole tour planned, and our parents didn't want us to go. We decided we needed to do it. It's an important thing to do. We got to New York, and our show was sold out at Irving Plaza a month after 9/11 happened. All of the record labels were there. It was the first time people came out because they were hiding under a rock since 9/11 happened. It was just such a weird timing. The country was in mourning, we were scared and upset, but all this good stuff was happening with our band. It was complicated. I also remember that show was so great in spite of everything going on in the world. And following that performance, the band got signed to Atlantic Records. The band would stress that signing to a major label didn't, however, impact their image or sound, with guitarist Allison Robertson telling the LA Times, "We'd been in a band for 9 years. It was really about waiting until we had power before signing with a major. We care about every detail, but you might have power, but your album might not make it to the stores, or you won't have financial tour support. Labels like Lookout can't afford it," she'd say. With what looked like a bright future ahead, the members would drop out of college to pursue a career in music. Atlantic would put out the band's 2002 record Spend the Night, which featured the Donnas' most commercially successful single, Take It Off, which would peak at number 17 on the Modern Rock Tracks chart in America. The record would go on to sell nearly 500,000 copies, peaking at number 62 on the Billboard charts, and the band would hit the road with alternative rock band OK Go the same year. To boost the band's profile, Atlantic heavily licensed the band's music, with Take It Off appearing in a ton of video games, including Downhill Domination, MVP Baseball 2003, and of course Guitar Hero. The Donnas would also appear in the end credits for the 2004 hit comedy Mean Girls, where they would play a cover of the Billy Idol song Dancing With Myself. The band's music also appeared in TV ads for Target stores and the soft drink Sprite. An Atlantic rep would tell MTV at the time, "We sat with the band and talked about our ability to co-opt all the relationships we have at every level of the business, from AOL to the Budweiser deal to an Urban Outfitters tie-in to securing them a consistent run of major tours," he'd say. Atlantic would put out the group's 2004 follow-up Gold Medal, and the band would make a few changes for their follow-up record, including dropping the matching names and showing more maturity in their songwriting. Rather than singing about one-night stands or going through Boys Like Denim, they sang about making relationships work. Allison Robertson would tell MTV News, "In our last albums, we kind of reveled in being like, screw you, we're going to move on to someone else, because we were young and that's what you do. Now we've all met people that are worth it. At that point, I don't think we had people that were really worth it. The general feeling was like whatever. Those people are gone now and we're on to a new batch of keepers." The band would hit the road with Maroon 5 and Von Bondies to support the record, and Atlantic Records thought Gold Medal would outsell the band's previous record, but that wasn't the case. Gold Medal proved to be a huge commercial disappointment, selling only 87,000 copies. Around the time of Gold Medal's release, there would be management and personnel changes at their label, possibly contributing to the marketing of the album. Brett Anderson would tell Stereogam where they noticed the shift in the label's tone, revealing, "The problem is when we signed, we had a great team that we got to know, and we chose to work with that label because of those people and the amount of control we were offered versus the advance. And then all these people left and a whole new group of people came in and we're like, who are you guys? And they're like, who are you?" The band would announce in 2006 that they would be parting ways with Atlantic Records, and shortly after they would form their own label, Purple Feather Records, which was a joint venture with Red Eye Distribution, according to Reuters. In 2007, the band would release their final studio record together, Bitchin', with the iTunes bonus track New Kid in School showing up on the video game Rock Band 2 as an on-disc track. The album would peak at number 89 on the Billboard charts, and the band would hit the road with the Hives the following year. By 2010, drummer Donna C. or Donna Castellano would leave the band after dealing with shoulder problems due to the fact that she was a self-taught drummer. The difficulty in being able to make a living playing music eventually led the band to dissolving in 2012. But the end of the band shouldn't have been a surprise. The Donnas saw it coming as early as 2000 with the rise of Napster. Anderson would tell Vice, "That was a big disaster because record labels saw it coming and didn't embrace it. What we ended up doing begrudgingly was our product, which was our record, became our marketing tool. So you'd have to give out your records and try to spread the word about your band. Your product became your live shows and merchandise. That happened and we were completely unable to make a living directly off of what we did. We had to make an indirect income off all the periphery things. So that was difficult and discouraging, and then the recession happened. It was like the music industry had its own recession, and then the national recession happened. It was a double whammy. I never felt the money come back into the music industry," she'd say. In a separate interview, Robertson would tell the Stanford News that by the end of her time in the Donnas, she was struggling with alcohol dependency, a bad relationship, and was burning the candles from both ends by also working a day job while being in a band. In addition to that, she dealt with a flood that destroyed a lot of her possessions. Things got so bad for the frontwoman that she came home one day remembering, "I had nothing, my life was ruined." The Donnas would go on hiatus starting in 2012 with the members finishing up schooling, with Anderson studying psychology at Stanford, while drummer Tori Castellano would graduate from Harvard Law School. Despite being inactive, interest in the band still remains high, as Anderson would tell Stereogam that they have gotten numerous reunion offers, revealing, "Things come in and they keep coming in. There are good offers that come in, but some are like really ambitious without anything to back them up. We had to really sacrifice a lot of our lives in order to do this band. We had to put everything aside, we had to put school aside, our families for a lot of it. No one really guilt-tripped me, but I felt guilty anyway. Now it's just super nice that when someone's got something coming up, I can commit to being there, which is something I was never ever able to do before," she'd say. So that does it for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like button and subscribe, and we'll see you again on Rock and Roll True Stories. Take care.